forget to like and subscribe.
And hit the notification bell
so we can go to college and get more knowledge.
Welcome back once again to the CBDC Assets Group channel. Thanks again for being a part of the group. Can you say Davos? If you don't know what Davos is, it's probably because you were born in the wrong tax bracket. You need to be born in the pay no tax bracket. It's a meeting where the wealthiest people and the global elites get together once a year in the mountains of Switzerland to discuss finance and the direction of the global macro economy. This year, you hear a lot of the same language and narratives that they've been speaking about never let a good crisis go to waste and how this is an opportunity for the wealthy. Cloudflare CEO says the economy will get much worse in the next 2 years. That's funny because there's more people in extreme poverty since C-19 than there ever was before. To be exact, that's 711 million who live on less than $1.90 a day. But I bet they're having fun in Davos, though. Did you know they're taking ayahuasca with shamans at Davos? Couldn't make this stuff up if you tried. Don't forget to hit that Belango Dango so you can be notified when I drop new content. Don't forget to subscribe and share with family and friends. See you on the next one.
Well, let me first say that we are in a space that we have never been before, a crisis upon a crisis within 2 years. Just as we were recovering from the COVID-induced economic crisis, we were hit by a war in Europe, sanctions, and their consequences. So look at what we have done. From October until now, twice downgraded our projections for global growth. And when we look into the last downgrade and what happened since, I wouldn't put it out of question that there may be a further downgrade. Why? Because of tightening of financial conditions, because of dollar appreciation, it hits many countries a lot, and because of the slowdown in China that is affecting supply chains quite dramatically. What we are mostly concerned is, are we now stepping into a period of time of economic fragmentation? Are we going to see the consequences of this period to be long-lasting with trading blocks forming, possibly choice of reserve currencies that is more diversified?
Out there on the internet. Now, talk to us about the state of the business. What I've been hearing from folks so far is this two-speed economic situation where the U.S. not yet in a recession, growth is slowing down, but the European market might be in a recession. How do you see it?
You know, I think that, Cloudflare's 12 years old, and I think we haven't really had a true recession in the period of time that we've existed as a company, and we're probably long overdue for that. Q1 of 2022, I think across the entire tech sector, was one of the toughest quarters that any businesses have seen since Q1 of 2020, at the start of COVID. I don't think we're going to bounce back quite as fast as we did with COVID. For us, that's actually not a bad thing. We provide our services in a very economical way. We tend to actually save businesses money, help them cut other vendors, simplify things. And so for us, we actually see it as an opportunity, but I think for the world economy, we definitely see that across the world, budgets are getting tighter. And I think that might foreshadow what could be a tough, next couple of years to come.
Internally at Cloudflare, are you preparing for a recession? And how do you prepare for one?
Yeah, I think we're continuing to hire very quickly because we see an enormous amount of demand for our products. But we're making sure that we look across our business and ask, where can we make sure that we're getting more efficient? We can tighten our belt. We can make sure every opportunity in our business is world class. My co-founder Michelle likes to say, never let a good crisis go to waste. And I think that great businesses get born out of recessions. Cloudflare actually started out of the 2008, 2009 recessions, and great businesses really prove themselves during recessions. And we intend to be a really great business, and I think we're going to really prove ourselves over the next couple of years.
Well, with the world's elite gathering in Davos, Switzerland this week, a bit of a reminder that the COVID pandemic has left the picture on poverty dramatically worse than it was pre-pandemic. This chart comes from the World Bank, and it shows the number of people living on less than $1.90 a day. And it shows that there has been a rapid undoing of the pre-pandemic progress made on eliminating poverty. World Bank estimating that 56 million people more thrust into poverty as a result of the economic shock, something that I'm sure a lot of the world's leaders and big CEOs will be talking about. But of course, Akiko, as is always the case with Davos, whether or not there's any action on that is another question.
It's really hard to measure that action, any kind of promises that are made at Davos. But, it's interesting to see this. I mean, we're talking about it compared to pre-pandemic levels, but over the last several months, we have seen additional factors only add on to this, right? When you think about what's been happening between Russia and Ukraine, grains, wheat that's grown there, how that has really started to...
Food insecurity is huge.
Food insecurity is huge. And then now we're hearing about these extreme heats over in India. They have started to limit their imports as well. So you look at that chart, that's where we stand now, and you have to think about just the pile-on effect beyond that because of so many other factors that are now coming to play.
Yeah, we have to remember, too, that during the pandemic itself, nations that had good standing economically were able to pass stimulus measures to keep businesses and households whole. And a lot of third world nations that were already very fragile before the pandemic, they didn't have that same luxury. So they're still reeling